Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City Council meeting for Monday, December 1st. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Mayor Burchill.
Here.
District 1 Morissette.
Here.
District 2 Yakub Rad is excused. District 3 McCormick.
Here.
District 4 Weber.
Here.
District 5 Hoggett.
Here.
District 6 Vanslow.
Here.
Thank you. Comments and suggestions from citizens present. If there's anyone here that would like to speak or address the council, now is your time on any subject that is not on the agenda. So if there's anyone here that would like to address the council, please do so at this time. Okay, hearing none. Discussion, possible action on a consent agenda. Madam Clerk.
To approve the regular meeting minutes of November 17th, 2014. To approve claims for payment in the amount of $580,295.88. A detailed description is available in the clerk's office on request and is posted on the city's website. To approve the authorization for the mayor and city administrator to authorize any necessary payments for the 2014 vouchers and invoices that need payment before the end of the year. To approve the Hudson Hot Air Affair special event permit application and the request for a reduction in the required level of insurance to the policy limits listed on the certificate of liability insurance provided with the application, contingent on review and approval by the city attorney. To approve the continuation of the chicken ordinance program. To approve amending the existing signage at the 200 block of Locust Street to reflect enforced 7 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. daily to be funded from the sign fund. To approve having Police Chief Jensen ask the Hudson High School District to provide a crossing guard on Carmichael Road at Burrell Oak Curve and approve crossing flags if the school cannot provide crossing guards. To approve the use of up to 10 parking stalls on the north side of the parking lot for an outdoor sales area at 1301 Gateway Court with the conditions that the sales items shall not be displayed outdoors for more than 3 weeks, and the permit will be subject to review in 1 year, December of 2015. To approve the clerk's appointments for the 2015 election cycle for Douglas Torgerson as a special registration deputy to register residents at Wintergreen, and for all the currently appointed election inspectors to serve as special registration and special voting deputies at residential care facilities visited for absentee voting through December 31st, 2015. And that is all.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Vanslow.
Yes.
Hoggett.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
McCormick.
Yes.
Morissette.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to item 5A, discussion possible action on conditional use permit for a winery at 310 2nd Street, Wine Station, Hudson. Mr. Darnold.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Plan Commission recommends approval of the conditional use permit for Wine Station Hudson LLC at 310 2nd Street for the purposes of winery. There are a number of conditions that are being suggested and recommended by the Plan Commission. You want me to list those, or?
I think you should.
Okay, thank you. 1, the tasting room, lounge, and bar area and event center cannot be used for those purposes until the fire suppression system is completed, inspected, and a certificate of occupancy is approved by the building inspector and fire chief, fire inspector. The business must obtain and maintain all federal and state licensing and permits for winery, and copies of those licenses and permits must be provided to the City of Hudson for inclusion in the city's files. Local liquor and wine licenses and permits must be approved by the Common Council. No outside storage provided other than commercial refuge, and that short-term storage of grape deliveries must be moved indoors within 24 hours of delivery. Traffic and material handling must be maintained so not disrupt the vehicle and pedestrian traffic operations normally conducted in the downtown commercial area. And review and approval by the wastewater treatment plant director of the discharge to the City of Hudson wastewater treatment plant. All standards applicable to wineries that are listed in Chapter 255-75.2 subsection H, conditional use permit standards, those would apply to any conditional use permits where it be for brew pubs, breweries, wineries, distilleries. There's a couple that are very specialized, but in general, it would apply to all conditional use permits that would be considered by the Common Council. There's one issue, is the potential use of the patio area, which at this time would be potentially shared with Pudge's Bar, and Cafe may have some comments. The Planning Commission did not act on that specific issue because I strongly suggest, I felt that was a Common Council issue in regards to a premises description. So we're not, recommending approval of the patio area as part of the conditional use permit, but at the time, if there's any licensing or premises descriptions, then that should be taken up at that time.
Yeah, that would be a licensing issue, and I did talk about it, with the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and they would have to be separate, but that can be reviewed. There just can't be any interchange between the two because they're two different licensed activities. Just so you're aware of that, but that will be considered as part of
Probably
licensing application.
Catherine, for the same outside patio?
No, there would have to be at least the way I understand it, in terms of the proposal, there would have to be a separate entrance, if they want to divide the patio and have the winery use half the patio for its customers, they can do that, and Pudge's use the other half, but there has to be a dividing wall or fence in between because there's different rules that apply to each type of licensed activity.
That, we'll take that up when we get into the licensing part, and they can't serve any alcohol right now until after the sprinkler system gets in.
Correct, and then also, I have to wait till good weather to be able to use the
Yep.
patio area also, so, it's not an issue that's gonna be immediate. It'd be
Well, it's
something,
my understanding that there is no winery permit yet.
no, that's correct.
Yep.
So they get that from the state.
Correct.
And then with that permit, it's only tasting samples, no off-sale or on-premises other than the tasting samples.
It looks like they're already planning to divide the patio with some physical structure. If,
Yeah.
based on requirement.
Any other questions, comments?
I just want to say Mr. Vincent Negret and Mr. Bob Butler are here tonight to answer any questions in regards to the proposed winery.
I guess I just wanted clarified, the payment in lieu of parking and extra water.
Yeah, I thought we'd
charges?
take that up also at the, if there's any consideration, because then I'll know, if the patio's not allowed, that affects the payment in lieu of parking. So I'm asking to defer that issue until we can address that, so then I have the number of seats and so forth.
Yeah,
That'll
I
be-
think it still should be subject to that.
Yes,
so
correct,
that-
you're correct, yes.
Okay.
The space is 6,000.
It's over 6,000, so there's a net.
Yep.
But there, the total number of seats, at least proposed, are 152 seats indoors and potentially, 142 seats indoors and potentially 22 seats outdoors. Right now, they're using about 44 seats in the patio area. If you split that, we're assuming then that approximately 22 would be used for the winery if that's permitted. So, there's a number of seats that could be, and, we want to refine those numbers, make sure they're fair, but I'd like to be able to defer that until we get to the licensing issues.
Okay.
But I agree with Kathy, that should be subject to that review also.
Yeah, so that it's clear it's part of the conditions of the conditional use permit.
Vincent, do you have anything you'd like to add? If you'd come up to, step up to the microphone, please.
Just to transmit that there's good news that we have the federal permit approved now.
Good. All right. One
One
step
less.
down.
And now we're gonna go into the state one, and after the state, then the city.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
Would the potential parking in lieu of cost be prohibitive for these people to continue?
Well, I've given them the numbers, and even though, you know, hopefully they might come down a little bit, but I've given them what I thought was the maximum
So
number.
they have an idea.
Correct. You know.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve
So moved.
with those with those
With,
restrictions?
yeah, with committee recommendations.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all right. Any other discussion, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? I didn't think. Congratulations, guys. Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion possible action on 2015 service rate increase for St. Croix EMS. Chief Eby.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just here tonight to get the final approval for the 2015 rates for the transportation rates for St. Croix EMS. As you have them in front of you, we did an 8% increase just for the transporting rates. This does not include the on-scene charges. Those we remain the same. So just the transporting charges are going up due to the increase in fuel that we've been using, increase in medical supply cost. Everything's going up. So just to kind of keep up and stay competitive and where we need to be able to operate. So that's what I'm
Anyone
looking
have any
for.
questions for the chief?
When was the last increase we had?
What's that?
When was the last increase we had?
2 years ago.
Okay.
Move to approve the service rate increase for the St. Croix EMS.
I'll
Is there-
second.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief. Discussion possible action of transfer of unspent funds from capital funds project to the stormwater fund. Mr. Willie.
There's approximately $67,000 that went unspent from the Buckeye Street project. Originally, funds were transferred from the storm sewer fund into the capital projects. As it wasn't spent, we're asking permission to move it back to the stormwater fund so it's available for other projects.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? This is good news. It didn't cost as much as we thought it would.
Yeah, it's great.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public safety is on the next item, is discussion and possible action on purchasing parking meters for the new parking stalls on First Street. Mr. Chief Jensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Safety had recommended that we purchase the refurbished meters from Meter Product Company. I ended up getting an updated quote. It's going to cost about $165.40 per meter. So we're right around $7,800, just a little bit over, to put them in for 48 stalls. Public Safety Committee did look at putting in for new meters. They range anywhere from $375 to over $700 per meter to get the brand new ones. We also took a look at possibly putting in a pay station into one of the local parking lots and then moving those meters into the 46 stalls. That also became real cost prohibitive when you put on all the other factors that go in, credit card transactions and so forth, monthly fees, wireless services and so forth.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on a request from D3 VEC LLC Cheers Pablo for an extension startup time from December 15th to January 14th. Nancy? Anything that you, just,
Well, there was a request that was received for an extension for the liquor license that was approved for the Cheers Pablo address at 2421 Hanley Road. They noted that there was some delays with their building permit, and They're asking that they get an extension through January 14th of 2015. And then in the municipal code, there's some explanation about council's ability to ask for some documentation or supporting evidence if they wish to have that from the applicants. And I see there's a representative present if you have any questions for him.
Yeah, just give an update.
You sure that's enough time? You're going to be open on the 14th?
I'm really hoping so. Good evening. I just met with all my contractors and the builders. We were just at the site. I just got back probably half an hour ago, so they're very confident, or they feel very confident. I mean, I didn't know what date to give when I was talking to Nancy. I just said the 14th based on some calculations, but the build-out should start within the next 5 to 7 business days. It did take about 7 weeks to get the state to approve our plans just because they're so backed up. So the reason for the delay in our build-out.
Do you want to consider maybe moving it out a week or two so you're safe?
I
You don't
would
have to
I
come
would
back
appreciate
here
if you
again?
maybe even did, I mean, I'm pushing to get it open as fast as possible, but maybe like a February 1st date, just so in case there's any complications with Christmas or any other problems.
I think that
Would that be
is
okay?
very reasonable.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody, I think that would be
Yeah.
reasonable, unless anybody else has a problem with that.
I move we approve the extension out to February 1st, 2015.
Okay.
Second.
Any other discussion?
No, looking forward to it.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Discussion possible action on ordinance 1414, elimination of library impact fees. Who brought this one up?
Well, I guess Neil and I did.
Okay.
You've noted in the last few meetings, the costs associated with the acquisition of the new library building and getting it operational have pretty much been paid. And, well, they have been paid. And so there is no basis now for assessing an impact fee. It was based on the old impact public facilities needs analysis, which has been accomplished, I guess you'd say. So
How about any improvements to the library or any kind of changes or remodeling?
that would have, you can only do impact fees to accommodate new growth, and it has to be based on a public facilities needs analysis, which
Okay.
the library did, and with the city, actually.
Okay.
When the impact fee was adopted. That growth, I think it was out to 2010 or so, that's what it projected. And so those improvements and the additional space have been acquired, and the impact fees collected to provide those facilities to accommodate new development have been spent. If the city or the joint, area library wanted to look at impact fees for future growth, it would need to do a
An assessment.
needs assessment to support that.
Okay. So is there a motion to,
I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
roll call?
Haggett,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
McCormick,
Yes.
Morset,
Yes.
Vansel.
Is there a motion to, somebody want to do that?
I'll move to approve ordinance number 14-14.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Communications and recommendations from the mayor. Courtesy tickets for holiday parking. I think we usually do it from the day after Thanksgiving through Christmas or New Year's Day. Does anybody remember the exact date? New Year's Day.
I think what they'll probably do is, probably through those couple days pass.
So what we do is we give 2 hours free parking, and then if they are longer than that, then they will get a ticket.
Right.
So it's not park free all day, it's 2 hours courtesy parking. Is that okay? Just for your information.
Yep.
Is there anything from the city attorney? Devin?
Nope.
Any council people want to add anything to future agenda items? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? We're adjourned. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.